Hi, how's it going? Like I always tell you, you already know me. My name is Cristian Ramirez, and today I'm gonna talk to you about a topic really important. This topic is more than important. It's really interesting and could cause a little bit dilemma in your thinking, in your mind, because it's a little complex. It's a little bit difficult to understand. But I'm gonna try to explain and establish and settle the basis to take some kind of point of view according to what I'm going to tell you. Well, this topic is named genetic human engineering. What is genetic human engineering? It's something like the general structure about genetic. And nowadays, or in the present times, we got some kind of genetic, but we have to thank many previous scientists that make a lot of studies about genes, phenotype, about hybrids, about genotype, and we have many results in our health caring. But first, let me tell you about Charles Darwin. Charles Darwin made a theory about pangenesis, and that theory was in some time was accepted. But after with the evolution, everything is changing, and comes the Lamarck theory. Lamarck theory was about inheriting. They were both theory were related with reproduction and mix many organisms and take conclusions about it. But even though we have to thank Charles Darwin in some areas about evolution, in this case, his theory about pangenesis was wrong. In certain time was accepted, but after, with the fluence of the time, with the fluence of the studies, with the scientists' studies, they discovered that the pangenesis theory about Charles Darwin, the pangenesis theory of Darwin was wrong, and after was Lamarck. He was a great scientist. I don't know if he studied focusing in chemistry or in biology or maybe in physics. But what I really know is that he made some conclusions about the inheritance theory, about reproduction. But both theory finally were wrong, were incorrect. Why? Because one famous and popular scientist after them studied the reproductions using plants, to be specific, pea plants, and he at the same like Charles Darwin and Lamarck, Gregor Mendel used pea plants, and he experimented with them and mixed many structures with the pea plants. He was mixing colors, size, large, and he find three important conclusions. And thanks to Gregor Mendel and his studies about pea plants, we nowadays have our science of genetic. And you maybe are wondering how it's possible that Gregor Mendel gave us many conclusions about our human genetic if he studied with pea plants. Yeah, because pea plants are alive beings, and we are human beings. Both we are created by the natures. So these kinds of experiments that Gregor Mendel made about plants was really related with our body structure and with our genes structure, because that's really important. Our genes were coincidence. Thanks to Gregor Mendel, today we have this basis of the structure of our human genetic engineering. By the way, talking about human genetic engineering, recently I read a document where I read that in Britain they discovered that they could create babies with the DNA. With the DNA genes of three people. What I want to say is that in Britain they are just to allow that we could create life and babies, and we could use that babies to avoid many diseases. It's a little complicated topic, because imagine the pros is that we could create babies with 3 people's DNA, but the cons is that maybe we are creating certain consequences about our life. Maybe with this permission of create babies to avoid many diseases like Down syndrome, epilepsy, mind retardation, we are trying to make something positive, but maybe at the same time we could create something negative. So I don't know, maybe we could change our general structure of our body, and from today we're going to create another kind of human being. I think the pros is that we could avoid diseases, but the cons is that maybe we could have negative consequences. By the way, talking about human genetic engineering, I want to invite you at a conference that is going to be in Heriberto Jara Corona Auditorium, and this conference is named how our genetic human engineered structure is changing through the times. I think they're going to do something really important, and they're going to explain many bases about Lamarck, Charles Darwin, and Gregor Mendel. But overall, they're going to explain how our human genetic engineering is really, really important to know. And the tickets, you could get the tickets in the downtown in the city, in every OXXO. You could pay your ticket. The cost is like 200 pesos, yeah, and you could pass with your couple or with other person. 200 pesos is like it's like the ticket by 2 persons. So I will limit that you go that conference, because it's going to be important, and there I'm going to be helping the conferences to explain many topics like this that is really important, genetic human engineering. Well, see you later. Bye.